In shadows deep, the truth lies veiled. A blade divides where light prevailed. Cold stone sings of trials untold. Alchemy burns within the bold. A whisper stirs from skies of indigo. Feathered signs where angels go. The past may twist, deceive, and scar, yet sacred light knows who you are. So carry on, a wayward soul, through mirrored dark to make you whole. With sword in hand and vision clear, your sacred mission draws you near. Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to Enlightened Heart Soul Connection. I'm Naoma. This morning I have a message for a collective of people that, well, let's just say you were once lost in darkness and now you are being initiated. I pulled out the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck this morning to kind of see if Spirit wanted me to do a YouTube message. And I shuffled the deck. I split the deck. And on the split was the stone and the shadow. The shadow, it's denial of unconscious aspects, projection, repression, resistance. The stone is a symbol of alchemy and transformation. It's a circle within a square, within a triangle, and at the center is an opal. But because the shadow came out, and both of these cards are in grayscale, I felt that these were both dark aspects of what's going on with this collective. So this represents stagnation, heaviness, and coldness. The alchemical symbol within the stone represents the process of individuation and transformation. Think of it like the philosopher's stone. The grayscale imagery emphasizes the liminal space, the in-between state, the lack of clarity, but full of potential. Black and gray are not the absence of color, it's all color. So it's the potential to bring light back in. Collective is in a liminal space where transformation is available, but delayed by resistance. The weight felt as sacred tension. I always talk about this. Resonance, tension, repeat. We relate. We argue. We repeat. So after the argument, we go back to resonating. So it's an invitation to surrender to your inner fire. I wanted to know more about what was going on, so I sat the cards on the table and I pulled out the Angels and Ancestors deck again today by Kyle Gray. And I just asked what else the collective needed to know, because it was very obvious that there was a message here for the collective. So the card that comes out is Guardian Angel. And it says you are not alone. This card is about vision. and intuition and cosmic purpose verified by angelic presence. You know, as I'm looking at the image, we see the all-seeing eye. Then we see the zodiac symbols for the moon and the sun. And at the center, I mean, we definitely see Metatron's cube in there. And at the center is the angel feathers. So you're being shown the divine order behind your shadow work, or behind all shadow work, really. Your guardian angel is not only present, but weaving geometry and time around your path to guide you. So you may be seeing feathers. You're maybe seeing codes, numbers. Numbers are significant for someone in this collective. But seeing weird geometrical shapes also, like out of, like, why am I seeing that there? That's also things are being shown. And I'm seeing it all over the wild unknown archetype as well. So this is not a fall into shadow, but this is an initiation. When I ask the question of who is this, I pulled out the character oracle, and many of you know that I'm clairaudient, so I get a lot of messages through music. A lot of times I have music just playing in the background, random playlists. I've also started creating playlists on this channel, on my YouTube channel here. So look in the playlist section. There's going to be a new playlist for today created, because there was a lot of symbology through the music that I was hearing. So the song Simple Man by Leonard Skinner came out at this point. So this was actually Simple Man by Shinedown. But anyway, this song is a mother's plea to her son to live an honest life guided by love and soul over ego, with wisdom through suffering and returning to what really matters. It's about someone being pulled back to their spiritual roots, to a higher moral compass, after walking through darkness. As this song was playing, the card that comes out is Swindler. One more, please, Spirit. And I got the card Gang. There was a sense of, I knew right away that this was for somebody who was in an incredibly, incredibly dark place. The card Swindler says master of deception, hypocrisy, disguise, and conspiracy. The card Gang says brotherhood of shadows, underworld, transactions, violence, and criminality. And I got scared because I didn't feel safe around this person, like physically safe. And I'm listening to the words of Simple Man. For Swindler, this person in the collective once wore masks, perhaps out of survival, trauma, or manipulation. As in, they were manipulated. You collective was manipulated into wearing certain masks. Hypocrisy and conspiracy. This is a point of, or pointing to, a fractured identity. One shaped by and in shadow. possibly to hide pain or power. And it brought me back to looking at the shadow card again. The gang card confirms deep immersion into the underworld, figuratively or literally, meaning the underworld, the armpit of society where all the fucked up stuff happens. Themes of the underworld, violence and criminality, indicate someone whose past is steeped in karma, soul contracts, and ancestral patterning. So now the stone card feels like the karmic weight of that past waiting to be alchemized. And my friend Max, who I'm in a deep spiritual bond with, we have many, many conversations regarding the spirit realm, and he's just a really good friend. He just sent me a text, and that's confirming all of this for me, that we're on the right track. All right, so at the bottom of the deck is the card Genius. And under that was the card Clergy, and I didn't see the connection right away. But Genius says bearer of gifts, extraordinary intellect, innovative mind, and exceptional ability. And I was like, okay, so this swindler person is also a genius. And then I'm looking at Clergy, and I'm like, but how in the hell does this fit? But it says guardians of faith, religion, morality, compassion, sacred mission. So I knew that this person was smart enough to pull themselves out of whatever hole they dug themselves into, that they could figure it out. The guardian angel comes out now to speak, and the angel says, you're not lost, you're gifted. And I've been keeping notes in a notebook, writing all this stuff down. And that's why I've decided to continue to do my readings this way, because it gives me a chance to make notes and make clarity. And then I'm kind of reflecting back on those notes when I sit down to record these sessions. So I'm already on page 3 of a book of notes that I wrote on this reading. This genius in the collective, the shadow walker. Your insider creativity is exceptional. Only now is it emerging from the shadow, like a diamond formed under pressure. To go from carbon to a diamond, it takes the intense pressure and weight of millennia. Well, we figured out what that pressure is, and we can now create it in a lab, but it's still pressure nonetheless. When we are smelting gold in alchemy, for example, all of the scum needs to be gotten out of the dirt, the impure minerals need to be gotten out of the gold through the smelting process, and they come to the top, and the gold is at the bottom, and that has to be skimmed. You were never meant to stay in darkness. You were meant to bring brilliance through it. And then looking at the clergy card, the guardian angel, I'm looking at the guardian angel card at the same time, and these are connected. This person, this collective of people, you have a sacred mission. Despite your past, your being called back into alignment with higher truth. Faith, compassion, and morality. Should we say the prodigal soul? Once lost in darkness, now being initiated into light to guide others. The shadow card was sitting on the table still within the deck. I hadn't pulled it out yet. And it had shifted a little bit, and the card underneath it was peeking out. This message did need to come through today. The sword was under the shadow. Clarity, truth, and the power of discernment rising from the depths of shadow work. This is the soul's inner knowing starting to shine through. I didn't draw it, but I saw it. What I witnessed is being acknowledged. And while this was happening, now playing in the background is the Black Crows. She talks to angels. Keep that in mind. Symbolically, the sword cuts through illusion. Exactly what's needed to dismantle the swindler and the gang. Echoes of the guardian angel again. Divine order. Precision and truth as the blade of light. Shadow integration isn't the end. It's the threshold. The sword is what forges the path forward, wielded with wisdom, not vengeance. Carry on, my wayward son. The next song. So I keep looking back at the clergy card and I'm seeing sacred mission. And I'm thinking about all of the songs that are playing, that I'm hearing, because I'm writing them down. I'm translating their meaning on paper while I'm doing that. And simple, man, this is the soul's origin and longing. A return to simplicity, truth, and the values lost in the noise of the world. Follow your heart and nothing else. This soul was never abandoned. They just forgot who they were. You've been wearing a mask, a disguise. You've been cloaked in conspiracy. You've been cloaked in darkness, but it's just an illusion. It's deception. You may have been to the depths of the underworld. Crime, violence, vengeance. Keeping your loved ones up worried at night because they don't know if they're going to get that call from the police saying that you're dead. You just forgot. It's okay. You just forgot. You're so smart. You have an extraordinary intellect. You're innovative. You're creative. You have an exceptional ability to get out of any situation. And this is one of those sacred missions or situation. The sacred mission is your genius. She talks to angels. This is the revelation point. The pain, addiction, grief, the inner child hidden beneath the armor. The sword is that angel's voice, the truth that cuts through and heals. The card symbology here, the grayscale going to color. When I look at the sword card, it's split in half. Color at the top and grayscale at the bottom. It's grace piercing through the wound. The grayscale being cut through from the stone and revealing the beautiful opal. She talks to angels, says they call her out by her name. This is the soul remembering their name. This is you remembering who you are under all of the disguises. Carry On, My Wayward Son by Kansas. This is your homecoming anthem. The call to rise, to continue, to carry on. After shadow, truth, clarity. This is the ascension, the acceptance of your sacred mission. There'll be peace when you're done. The soul's journeyed through deception, grief, and reckoning, and now you're being guided to rise. This is the redemption arc of your message. From darkness to discernment, from grief to grace, from exile to home. Your mission, be creative. "14 reduces to 5. 5 is about change. This mission is not about performance, but vision. Not penance, but possibility. What appears to be the absence of color is actually all of the colors. The collective that this reading is for may come from a painful past, but they were never disqualified. In fact, their genius formed their fire. Jesus used people who may have not looked qualified on the surface, but they were his greatest allies in telling his story. And your guardian angel says you're not alone, but you must lead with vision, not fear. See with the eyes of your higher self. Refuse to be trapped by what has been. Name the illusions and choose differently. Transmute your pain into purpose. This is alchemy in action. From stone to opal, shadow to clarity, wayward to anointed. This mission is about building the new, not reliving the old. It's no longer survival, it's creation. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. I love you, collective.